All right, so a really disappointing loss yesterday to the Chiefs in Kansas City. No question about that. Disappointing to us, disappointing to the Colts, disappointing to the coaching staff, disappointing to everybody. How did it happen? Why did it happen? What maybe would Shane Steichen do differently? Injury updates. What can he tell us about Daniel Jones? What can he tell us about Ashton Dulin with that hamstring? Here's Shane Steichen with a little bit of a breakdown about what happened yesterday from his perspective.
Just looking back at the game, obviously disappointing the way it ended. Credit to the Chiefs and what they did, but we got to be better there at the end of the game to finish those games moving forward. So we'll get them cleaned up. Got it cleaned up this morning. Continue to clean it up and get ready for the Houston Texans.
Steven, want to go ahead?
Hey, Shane. Just for the record, like we've watched Daniel all year, and he was on the injury report. He didn't look 100%. I mean, is there any light you can shed? Is there anything of concern there?
All I got for you is he's got a fibula, and that's it.
Well, can you? Is there any light you can shed on that? Because I got to be honest, when you say fibula, that's a bone, and it sounds bad. I'm not saying it is, but
yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but he's out there, he's playing, he's practicing, and he's good to go.
And just one last thing, you guys had you saw a lot of blitzes yesterday, which you tend to do with Spags. You had a lot of success with those early on. What do you attribute some of the struggles to?
You always look at, there's always little intricacies within the game. They brought some zero pressure there at the end. We had a third down where they brought zero. We were trying to throw a quick slant there. You had to get the ball out of our hands quick, tight coverage things. There's a lot of different things that play into it. But again, we look back at those things and get them cleaned up and get better every week from those things, moving forward, Stephen.
Thanks.
James.
Shane, I think Noah Gray had the catch on the sideline there in the fourth quarter. Looked like he got messed up on the play, actually. But did you think to challenge that at all? What was going through your mind in that moment?
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about challenging it there. I just was talking to the officials on the sidelines. I said, "You guys look at that?" And they said, "Yeah, we looked at it. The replay assist did." So that's why I didn't throw the flag. And then I would have lost the timeout. Otherwise, I definitely would have.
So they told you that he caught it?
Correct. They said the ball didn't hit the ground.
Interesting. Okay. And then
yeah.
To follow up, into the game, fourth quarter and overtime, how do you feel about, I guess, looking back at it, just the time management perspective of it and knowing that you want to be aggressive to throw, but those seconds don't come off the clock and they keep getting chances to obviously come back and win the game?
Yeah, for sure. You always go back and self-evaluate those situations. I really thought, really that last drive in regulation, when we went pass there, could I have called some runs there? Absolutely. Could have called runs, ate up some time there. But, hindsight, I just, it didn't work out. And obviously I look at myself first and foremost on all those situations to get better for our guys, moving forward.
Chap.
Yeah, Coach, two things. Is Mooney Ward okay? I know he got lit up pretty good and went back in, but sometimes the day after.
Yeah, as far as I know, Chap, he's good to go. I talked to him after the game. He felt good, so he should be good.
The other thing about the end of the game, and it's always easy to second guess in all this, when you're sitting there now and it's 4th and 4 at the 45 or 46, do you wish you'd have rolled the dice and gone with it as opposed to Mahomes has done that so many times?
Yeah, he sure has. Our defense, I was looking, that was kind of a gut feel there, Chap, on that one. It was at the 45-yard line. Our defense, we had the punt to start the third quarter, another punt. They got a takeaway, and we were up 3 there. And I thought, shoot, let's try to back them up and, let them go the long way instead of the short way if we don't get it. And obviously he went down there and we held him to a field goal. But yeah, you always look at those things and yeah, should I have, could have, would have, went for it on there. Yeah, possibly.
Thanks, Coach.
Joel.
Shane, the third and one with Jonathan, you guys run it there. I think the sort of traditional thought is you don't run out of shotgun. What did you guys like about that play and where do you think it went wrong?
Yeah, it was an inside zone play there, and we were in the gun thinking maybe they were thinking it's pass. And they had a little line stunt up front with Chris Jones, and credit to those guys. They did a good job, up front, and we didn't get to the second level, and credit to them for making the play.
Kevin.
Shane, how do you view the balance in like they've got X amount of numbers in the box versus we got to get our best player of the football?
Yeah, you always look at those things like, do we have leverage and spacing, in the run game? How do we capture leverage using whatever it is, whether it's motion or the front structure, to try to gain leverage with the box count too, maybe to get guys to fall out of the box. You always try to scheme different things up to create lanes in the running game. So that's stuff that we look at each and every week to try to create those matchups, whether they have a heavy box or a light box. We're always looking at those things.
Then knowing what JT's done in the second half, fourth quarter, do you view the boxing analogy of even in if it looks tough sledding at all? Sometimes with
Yeah, I
him.
mean, sometimes, yeah, you can grind out some, tough runs in there. I went back, obviously, you looked at that fourth quarter, the 3-and-outs obviously were unacceptable, and that's on me. We started the one backed up in the fourth quarter, and I think, yeah, we lost 2 yards there, and then threw it there. And then, obviously, we started, the overtime with an RPO, and then we ran it there, and then we obviously got stopped on the 3rd and 1 there. So you always look back and self-evaluate there, on certain things.
Just a couple more, Nathan.
I know it seems like maybe two different thought theories on what to do if you win the coin toss in overtime. You guys obviously won yesterday. Choose to receive it. Could you kind of just take us through what your theory is on why for you it makes sense to take the ball there? I know there's some folks that feel like getting the ball last and having the opportunity to know what you need to do and know if you need to go for fourth down or not is helpful. You guys obviously did the opposite, so just was curious if you could walk us through that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look around the league, I think it's like analytics is like 50-50 split. You talk to coaches around the league, it's split. And just kind of my philosophy is like, hey, take the ball there, try to go score. That's a 10-minute, overtime. And if you don't score, you can punt them and back them up. And then if you get the stop, you'll probably get one more shot. That's kind of the thought process there. Now, if you do take the ball, right, and you go score, now they're in 4-down mode the whole way down. So there's the flip side of it too. So there's different thoughts and theories to it. And my thought there was take the ball, try to go score. And then obviously, try to stop them on the flip in, and like we did, punt them, back them up, and try to keep them backed up so you can get another shot.
And I know you've talked through a lot of what you guys did, just play calling wise, decision making wise in the fourth quarter and overtime. When you've had a chance to review it, do you feel like you would have? And again, I know hindsight is not what you have in the game. Do you feel like you guys would have or should have done anything different from a big picture standpoint? Or are you comfortable with how you guys approach that?
Yeah, I think looking at it as in the big picture, obviously when it doesn't go your way, and it doesn't go out the way you want, obviously you look back and say, man, I could have called this, I could have called that. We could have done this different. I think that last drive in the fourth quarter was the biggest one where we probably could have popped a run on first down. You throw it on first down, now you're at 2nd and 10, and then you throw it again. Now you're at 3rd and 10, and you try to get a 3rd and 10 versus, a team that, brings pressure. And obviously, we were short there, on the 3rd down. So that last drive in the fourth quarter, I thought, I could have done a better job for sure. Definitely there.
And I know you mentioned yesterday, Ashton Dulin obviously left the game, was questionable with a hamstring. Do you have any sort of update on his status?
Yeah, he has a hamstring, and it looks like, he'll probably miss some time. I don't know how much, but he'll probably miss some time.
Gotcha. Thanks.
JJ.
Shane, when you looked at the defense, Mooney and Sauce out there playing a lot of man, what just sort of hit you about the way that they played?
Yeah, I thought they played good, tight coverage. They hit some crossing routes on us, but besides that, I thought both those guys played at a really high level. Sauce, obviously, as many plays as they had. I think they had about 95 plays, offensively, and those guys playing as much as they did. I thought they were really good. I thought Sauce made a great, PBU down there at the end of half. And I think Mooney did a good job too. So it's great to have both of those guys back out there in the fold, playing for us on both sides.
And then Pratt, sometimes when you see like a tackle total that high, it's maybe a little like artificially inflated, but his looked like it was a lot of like high quality tackles against the run. Is that what you saw there?
Yeah, I thought Pratt played a great game. Some tackles for loss, in the backfield. I mean, he was phenomenal. He was flying around the whole day making plays. So credit to him. Credit to the guys up front for creating those gaps for him to get through and make those tackles. But yeah, he was flying around. He had a hell of a game.
We'll go with James, and then Chap will be our last question.
Shane, one more on Daniel. With the fibula injury, do you have to account for that in play calling? Do you feel like you have everything still at your disposal? Or do you feel like you have to kind of protect your guy a little bit?
Yeah, there's no limitations with them right now. So we go through our weekly game plan process, and we go from there.
Chap, go ahead.
Yeah, Shane, just any early assessments of what the Texans are going to bring to town?
Well, I know they got a really freaking good pass rush. Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson, as good as they get right now on the edge. And I think they're number one in total defense. They're number one in fewest points allowed. So it'll be a hell of a challenge for us. We're looking forward to that opportunity to, get back to work this week and go through our process and go through our preparation to get ready for Sunday. Being back home will be huge for us.
I know you don't look ahead, but 4 of the last 6 are in the division. I mean, this is when it's going to be determined, obviously.
Yeah, division games are huge. They're different. They hit harder, obviously, because it is huge. You want to win your division, but you got to do it, 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time to get that done and prepare the right way.
So there you go. Obviously disappointing for Steichen, and understands maybe why he made the decisions that he made, especially on those 4th down calls. I totally get it. That's his philosophy. I think that's got to change a little bit depending on what's going on in the flow of the game. It did not seem like the Chiefs were going to be stopped. But I'll say this, that the first time they chose to punt, and they punted it down to the 12-yard line of the Colts, right, their own 12, Chiefs take over. They went -1 yards, and they had to punt it back, and that wound up being a net 9-yard gain for the Colts. They move it into the Chiefs' territory. Then it's 4th and 4, and they decide to punt it again. That second time, I think that's the time you go for it. Now, it's easy to look back and say that because the result of punting the ball was that the Chiefs took it all the way down the field, got the game-tying field goal, then went to overtime and won the game. It's all result-based. And yesterday could have been a win, and it wasn't. So you do, like Steichen said, you go look at it, and I wish I'd have done this, I wish I'd have done that. Well, you know what? Wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which fills up first.